Welcome back to another episode on News Portal and Laravel. In this video, we'll display all the news posts that we have added in our post table in the front-end templates. But before that, please hit the like button and subscribe us to let us know you are here. Alright, so without wasting time, let's get started. So here you can see that I've got a couple of news posts in my backend all post view. We'll be displaying this data in frontend. But before that, let's work on the all and published data count on the top of the table to show the exact count of data. Open the admin controller, go to all posts method and add a variable to store data count. Let's say $published db table post where status publish count. This will give us the post count where status is published $published. Let's update the all post blade. Let's say all posts will be count $posts and published will be $published. Refresh the browser. Well, you can see the published count is okay, but the total count is affected by pagination and is only showing data from this page. Let's add another variable in the admin controller all posts method to store all data count. Let's say all posts db table posts count all posts $all posts. Replace count $posts with all posts in the view blade. Refresh the browser and you're done. Let's check the search functionality. It's working fine here. Let's add the link to add new post and add new button. Let's make it anchor tag. And the link will be add post, right? Refresh the browser and click on the add new link. And you can see the add new post blade gets loaded. Let's go back to all posts view. Let's distribute the pagination section elements evenly in the row. Let's make it call SM7. Add class text right to this. Refresh the browser and you can see the pagination on the right hand side, leaving all the blank space in the middle. We can remove the name field from the search input because we are not submitting it via form, right? The title will be all posts here. Let's move the pagination at the bottom too, at the far right. Refresh the browser and you can see the changes. Let's go to the front-end homepage view then. Let's display featured posts on the featured section here. But before that, let's remove the search box right below the navigation. Let's close all these files. All we need is the front controller and the front-end index and the front-end master blade. This is the one we need to remove. Refresh the browser and it's done. To display contents in the featured section, let's go to the database categories table and check the ID for featured category. It's 9 in my table. We'll need it because none of my posts have single category. It would have been easier if each of the posts were assigned a single category. We could have used where clause with category ID, but since we have assigned multiple categories to each post, we need to go through a bit different approach. So instead of going through complex processing code, I'll go with like query so that each post with featured category ID in its category column is retrieved. Let's print the data and see what it produces. Here we need to add percentage, right? Refresh the browser and you can see the data. Easy, isn't it? Now let's get back to the front controller and order the data by their ID in descending order so that the most recent data is printed first. We can remove these codes then and return the object featured to view blade. This is ordered by, right? Let's go to the index blade then and add codes to display those posts. Let's use for each loop here. Let's check the data count first. Then we'll check the key. We'll need the key in the for each loop for that, right? Then we'll show the first data from the loop here. Let's copy the same code and paste it in the section below. We'll show this section only if there's more than one featured post. Let's remove the second section from here and close the loop here. Let's repeat the same in this section too. Let's show data if it's greater than 3 here. Close the loop and delete the repeating section. We need to add more clause to define the number of data to be printed, right? Let's say here we want data less than key value 6 and here less than key value 3. refresh the browser, and you can see the content repeated in the featured sections. Now let's display the featured posts from database posts table instead of this static data. Alright, the images will be in post folder inside the public directory, right? Then $f image, here we'll show the title. Let's define the URL too. We'll add a category base, let's say article, so that it will be easier to retrieve data in single page, okay? Then we'll send the slug to the URL. That's why we added slug in the database. Refresh the browser, and you can see the first data from the database displayed on the homepage featured section. Let's repeat the same in the other sections too then. Let's copy the same code block and paste it there for convenience. Refresh the browser, and you can see the posts from database there. Let's work a bit on the design part and display the post titles properly in this section. Let's open the style.css file first. Then I'll wrap the featured section HTML contents inside a div. Let's say relative. And then replace other section codes with the same code block. Let's add the styles then. I'll add position relative to this class so that I could position the caption in relation to this div. Alright, then let's add position absolute to the caption class. Let's say we want to leave 10 pixels at the bottom. We'll define the width as 100%. And let's say the padding is 10 pixels. Let's give the bottom value 0. That'll look much better. Let's define the left value 0 as well. Refresh the browser. And you can see how it appears. Let's make it a bit more appealing. Let's remove the previous styles of the caption class that might affect the way we want to show it. Let's wrap the captions too within the anchor tag so that the entire area is clickable. Let's do the same in other featured sections too. Go back to style.css file and add background to the caption. Let's add RGBA so that we can work on the opacity. Let's say it's 0.7. Refresh the browser, and you can see how good it looks now. Let's go to the admin dashboard all post view once more. You can see all the posts here, but let's make it appear in descending order so that the last post appears first on the list. That will make it a lot more easier to view the latest posts here, right? All you need to do is open the admin controller all post method and add order by PID DESC in the DB query. Refresh the browser, and you can see the most recent post on top. Alright. So the featured section is done. Now we can work on the individual category sections below the featured section. Let's go back to the front controller. Let's add another query to retrieve, let's say, general news. If you see my database, I have added one more category named news. I'll store the news posts from this category in this object. That will be ID 10 for me. Send it to the view file. Go to the index blade. Let's say it's news. Run the for each loop for general. Update the image URL. Display the description. Let's use substring function to limit the description character to, let's say, 300. Let's add the index key in the loop and check the index value to display the first data. Refresh the browser, and you can see the data from the database. But we don't need the HTML markups here, right? Let's remove that with strip tag, and that's very easy in Laravel. All you need to do is replace a curly bracket with double exclamation marks on each side of the Laravel blade syntax. Refresh the browser, and you'll see the HTML markups are gone. Let's update the URL then. Let's add the link to the image too. The URL will be article $G slug, right? Let's add the title too. Let's run the loop in the right hand section too. Let's show 5 data here. In the for each loop. And remove the repeating section below. Update the title and the image URL. Refresh the browser and you can see the changes. Well, there's no links on the right hand side contents and the read more button too. Let's fix that. Move the read more text inside the anchor tag. Let's remove the glyph icon from here. I'll add a special character over here. Let's copy the link code from here and add it to the image and the title element. Refresh the browser and you can see the changes, right? Let's work on the section right below it then. This is the section, right? Let's add the query in front controller first. Copy the existing query and change the ID. Let's say I want to show business news here, so that'll be 2, right? Let's rename the variable as business and send it to the view blade. Go back to the view blade, change the title, remove the repetitive elements from the section, add the for each loop, let's take the first 5 values with the take method here, update the image URL, refresh the browser and see how it appears. One of the images is displayed on the second row, right? Let's fix that. That's the image gallery, right? Let's make its image width 100%. Let's write it this way. Let's add a wrapper class flex here. Let's add style display flex and flex wrap no wrap here. Keep the image inside a div. Let's add some spacings. Well, that's how it looks. Let's add the links to these images. The spacing looks a bit larger here. Let's reduce it a bit. Refresh the browser and you can see the difference. Let's reduce the spacing furthermore. Let's say 5 pixels. Refresh the browser and you're done. The link is added to the image and the spacing too looks good. Now you've got the idea. You can go on to work on the rest of the sections on your own. Let's make this section sports and this one technology. Check the IDs of those categories in the database. That's 4 and 5, right? Let's get back to the front controller and add query to retrieve posts related to those categories. Let's copy the code block from the section above with description and paste it below. Change the variable and you're done. Remove the repeating section. Run the for each loop. Update the image URL. And the title. Refresh the browser and you can see the contents. Let's do the same with the technology section too. Since the layout is identical to the sports section, we can copy the entire code block and just change the variable. Let's do it one at a time though. Refresh the browser and you're done. Let's work in this section then. Let's make it health. Check the ID. That's 8, right? Add div query. And send it to the view blade. Replace the content as done before and change the variable. Let's copy the other section code block from general news section. Again, replace the variable and remove the repetitive content. Refresh the browser and you can see the contents. Let's work on another section then. That's another image gallery, just like business section we did before, but it's disintegrated because we changed the style of image gallery class. Let's display a travel post here. Check the ID, it's 6, right? Add the query in front controller. Send it to ViewBlade. Let's copy the code block from business section. And paste it here. Change the title and the variable. Refresh the browser. And you can see the travel posts here. Let's work on the last section. Let's make it entertainment. Check the ID. Go to the front controller. Add div query. Send it to ViewBlade. Let's change the layout to something else. Let's copy this layout and paste here and still. Change the variable and the title. Refresh the browser. Well, there's an error on the layout, but you can see the entertainment section is fine here. Let's fix the layout then. Let's check where the HTML structure is broken. We need to add a closing div here. Refresh the browser and you can see the layout is fine now. Let's work on the sidebar then. Let's say I want to show news from politics here. I guess the ID is 1. Well, that's correct. Send it to the ViewBlade. Go to the sidebar section in ViewBlade. Run the for each loop. Let's show the latest 10 posts here. Remove the repeating contents. I'll remove the advertisement section from here. Update the links, title, and image path. Refresh the browser, and you can see the contents. Let's work in the section below as well. Let's say I want to show the news from style category here. Check the ID in database. That's 7. Let's make the title style then. Add query to retrieve post related to style in front controller index method. Send it to ViewBlade. Run the loop in ViewBlade. Check the index key to show the first data. Update the image path, description and link. Run loop for the section below as well. Let's remove the section below it. Refresh the browser, and you can see the style posts here. Seems like there's only one post in style category, but that's okay. And the homepage is done and dusted then. Now let's click on one of the news posts and see what happens. Obviously there's no such route defined, right? It's almost impossible to define route for each slug, isn't it? So what we'll do is take its base, that is article, as the key URI and the slug as a variable to define the route. Let's define the route then. Route get article slug that will be sent to front controller at, let's say, article. Update the method in front controller. Refresh the browser, and you can see the article blade loaded. Now, whenever the article slug is sent to the URL, this blade is gonna load. Got it? Let's open the article blade and display data from the database then. This will be the title. We must send the data via article method in front controller, right? Let's do that first. This method will return the first data that matches the slug value. Alright. Update the image path and the description. Refresh the browser and you can see the post content. The heading is in white color here. Let's make it black. Let's add a class name here to add style. Add style in CSS to make it black. Heading tag must be called here. Refresh the browser and you can see the heading here. You can see this section is not properly aligned with the main post. Let's remove the row wrapper from here. Refresh the browser. Now you can see it's properly aligned. Then let's add div query to display a couple of posts in the section. Let's say related. Send it to ViewBlade. Run the loop in ViewBlade. Let's take only 3 data. Update the link and description as of now. Refresh the browser and you can see only one related data here, and that's because it's rare to find matching categories in multiple posts when you have multiple categories in each post. Let's go back to the front controller and break down the categories of the single post. Let's take the first category from the array and display posts related to that category. That'll be easier, right? Refresh the browser and you can see multiple data in related section. Let's add the title to here. Work on the more news section to them. Remove repeating sections. Add for each loop. Let's say it's latest. We'll show 10 latest posts here. Update the link, image path, and title as usual. Let's make it latest news. We missed the image path here, right? Add DB query to fetch latest posts. We define it as latest in the view blade, right? Refresh the browser, and you can see the single post view is fine now, with a couple of related posts at the bottom and the latest news on the sidebar. Click on any post link, and you can see the post loaded in the same template. Let's work on the category template then. Click on any one of the category, and you can see the route exception error. Let's define the route just like the article route. We'll have the category string as key, and we'll pass the slug. Front controller category method is fine. Let's update it. We'll take the category ID using the slug. Then take each post which has that category in the category ID column. Send it to the view blade. Let's make it first so that we can take the category values too. And this will be cat ID. Let's send it to the view blade. Let's make it uppercase. Refresh the browser. Well, the category template is loaded with the category title on the top. Now let's get the post related to the selected category displayed here. Let's check the post count first. Let's say it's $post. Then let's run the for each loop. Update the image path. Check the key for first data. Display short description. And update the link. We must define the index key here, right? Refresh the browser, and you can see the first data from the category here. Let's display more data then. Let's add a paragraph tag here for spacing. Let's keep only one section and remove the rest. Run the loop. Update the image path, description, and link. Let's say we want to display 10 posts here. Refresh the browser, and you can see the data. Since we have only 6 posts in business category, it's showing 6 only as of now. Let's work on the sidebar then. For that, I'll copy the code block from the method article. And even the article blade too. This must be L, right? Let's fix that in article blade too. Refresh the browser, and you're done. Click on any link, and you can see the article template loaded. Click on any category link, and you'll see the category template loaded with posts from the same category display. Well, that's all done then. Let's change the page title. That looks fine now. Let's display the most recent news in the header. We need to add it in the magic method to display on all templates, right? Update the master blade. Refresh the browser and you're done. Let's remove the underline that appears on the links on mouse over. Go to style.css and add text decoration none to 8. Let's add important to force it on all anchor tags. Refresh the browser and you can see the impact. Let's make the header latest news be the most recent in the descending order. Well, that's done then. Let's focus on the search functionality. Click on the search box and you can see the cursor appears too far from the left. Let's keep it closer to the left is. Inspect the element and you can see the padding left value on search input class on style.css line number 46. Check it off. Well, that looks better. Let's go to the style.css on the same line and remove that. Refresh the browser. Well, that looks good. Now we'll work on the search feature. We can do it in two ways. The first one using the form getter post method, just like we did in the backend form pages, or via jQuery that is called Ajax. Let's do it following the second method. If you don't know how Ajax works, you can go to webtrickshome.com, go to either blog or forum section, and click on the link Working with Ajax Made Easy with PHP. You'll get a detailed example on how to work with Ajax, that is jQuery, and interact with database. Let's go to the master blade then. I'll add an ID to the search input. Let's say search content. Go to the bottom and add script. I'll use key of function here so that the processing code runs after each key is released while typing. We'll take the value from the search input field. Then we can write if there's no text, the processing code should not be executed. If there's some text, then we'll run the Ajax. The data transfer method will be get, add URL, let's say search content, and the data will be text, right? If the data is sent successfully, we'll display the output, let's say search output. We don't have the search output div, right? Let's add that in the search div. Let's add the search content route in web.php. Let's send it to front controller. Let's say search content method. Add the method in front controller. Let's store the data in $text and print it. Refresh the browser, type in anything in the search box, and you can see the same thing is printed below it. Let's add some style to the search output to make it look more pleasant. I'm not going to explain much about CSS here. I'll come up with HTML and CSS tutorials very soon, and you can learn it from there. Alright. Refresh the browser, type in something, and you can see how it looks. Let's hide the search output div by default and make it appear once the Ajax function runs. Let's make it hide when there's no value in the search field as well. Refresh the browser, type in something, and the output div appears. Keep it empty and it disappears. Well, that's done then. Let's add the query to display related posts then. Every post that matches the search value in its title or description should appear. Let's display it in list. Let's define the URL like this. Then we can write the links this way. Refresh the browser, type in something, and you can see the list of matching posts here with the links to load those posts. Let's add some style to make them look more pleasant. Refresh the browser, type in a value, and you can see how the result appears. Let's add a message if there's no matching content then. Refresh the browser, type in something random. If it isn't found, you can see Node post found message. And if it's found in the database, you'll see the list of matching posts. Alright. Now let's work on the page titles. We have already defined the page title for home page. Let's work on the other templates then. The easiest way would be to add a section on the master blade named title. And send the title via other templates just like the content. Refresh the browser and you can see the page title is changed. Let's do the same with the category template too then. Click on any category link and you can see the category name on the page title. Well, the video will go too long if I keep on continuing this. Let's end it here for today. We'll continue from where we left off on the upcoming video. Thanks for watching and please subscribe us for more videos. Thank you.